that down, let's talk about this for a second here, shall we? You know, there is a brand new, I don't know if you heard about this, but there is a brand new Superman movie coming. It's opening up here soon.
Really?
Apparently the ticket sales have been pretty good. It broke some sort of record for opening day. That's right, it was. First day ticket sales. It broke all the records for first day ticket sales for the year, passing Minecraft, passing Lilo and Stitch, passing Fantastic Four, which had held it, and all that kind of stuff. And one of the reasons, not the reason, not the only reason, but I think one of the reasons why you're seeing such big numbers popping up here about how big of an opening it could have and all that kind of stuff is the marketing. Now, when we talk about marketing, most people will just think about, understandably so, they'll be thinking about, say, the trailers, right? Which is understandable. Like, is that's the primary marketing tool in the world today is trailers. That's what it is. But marketing goes beyond that. You know, Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool, Rob, kind of highlighted the fact that you can do a lot of great marketing for your movie without the use of trailers. And Superman seems to be digging into that and doing a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, take a look at this. This is the Eiffel Tower in France. And they are pulling out all the stops. I don't know how much they had to pay the Parisian government to let them go in there and do that. Or maybe we'll come back stateside and head over to San Francisco, where if you're driving across the Golden Gate Bridge, you're seeing this appearing in the sky. That's obviously just a good drone show. They just use drones to do that.
Sure.
But anyway, so they are going above and beyond on social media, using, and I've seen a whole bunch more. Like we've also seen a lot of other non-traditional marketing things, like the popcorn buckets. God, man, I just saw a popcorn bucket they did of crypto. Have you seen this? No. It's crypto sitting like a good boy, holding a plastic popcorn bucket in his mouth, and it's that popcorn bucket that's filled with popcorn. I gotta look
this up.
It's adorable. A Canadian movie theater chain's popcorn bucket is like it's like a newspaper box, the old school that you'd find on the sidewalks, a newspaper box. You know, put in a quarter and you'd open it up and pull out the newspaper, but you open it up and that's where all the popcorn is.
Wow, this crypto popcorn bucket from Cinemark is great, dude.
Isn't that wonderful? It doesn't look like it holds a lot of popcorn, but it's a great popcorn bucket, right? They are just amping it up. Now, here's the thing, though. I saw a report come out that was suggesting that this could be the highest marketing budget for a movie in history. Now, I think the largest I'd ever heard of before, because most movies will market 30, 40, $50 million. Some get up to $100 million marketing, some even a little bit more than that. But I think it was Endgame was the first movie that I ever heard of that spent $200 million on the marketing campaign. What I'm hearing about Superman, and I cannot independently verify this, so let's just be clear about that. But what I'm hearing about Superman, Rob, is that they spent $250 million set aside for that would be one of the most expensive movies of all time. Like just the marketing, because I think it makes sense because of how important this movie is to them. They need people to see it and to see that it's good and all that kind of stuff. And I think if you're putting that kind of money into something like this, you got to believe in it. Now, obviously, Superman's done a lot of things to make us understand that Warner Brothers believes in this film. They're having that advanced day fan screening where everybody's going to be able to get online and say whether they hated the movie or not before opening weekend. So they're taking a big risk. It's like Tarkin saying to Vader, I'm taking a risk, Vader. You know, that sort of thing.
An awful risk.
And they clearly believe in the film. Now, we've seen other studios believe in their films, and they shouldn't have believed in them. So that doesn't necessarily mean the movie's good. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Stitch Fix. Guys, you know I love movies, but you also know I have absolutely no fashion sense, and I absolutely hate shopping for my clothes. But thankfully, I have found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. With Stitch Fix, I get a stylist who understands my style, size, and budget, and they do all the shopping for me. Because look, shopping and figuring out style can be overwhelming, especially for somebody like me. When it comes to getting dressed, I don't even know where to start, to be honest. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. They really know what works for me. I get pieces that make me look great, and it's a real confidence boost. You just give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences. You get to order boxes when you want and how you want, no subscription required. They send you personalized pieces, and the fit is always on point. No stores, no crowds, no stress. Just personalized looks that you will love. So guys, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Campea. That's stitchfix.com/Campea. But Rob, I mean, it just looks like they're just pulling out all the stops, every trick they can come up with in marketing this film. What do you think about the job they've been doing marketing the film so far?
Well, you know, they were waiting, they were ramping it up, but now that we're in the last month before the release, I think the marketing has been very exciting. And you know, more than anything, it's fun. The marketing itself is the same thing that Ryan Reynolds sort of pioneered with Deadpool. He turned something that's shamelessly commercial that we all understand, and yet he turned it into its own thing where the marketing itself, like seeing that Superman logo underneath the Eiffel Tower, well, that's fun. Seeing the S logo above the Golden Gate Bridge is fun. And you know, when I worked on Superman Returns, there's a division of Warner Brothers there was at the time called Global Brand Management, and they would make partnership deals with large brands like Pepsi, and they would put Superman on Pepsi cans. Well, Pepsi pays the studio to be able to do that. And so part of what they're doing in this marketing campaign is developing partnerships. I'm sure Amazon paid money to be able to sponsor this advanced screening. And you know, that which is great for Amazon, it's great for their customers so they can get in and buy these tickets if you're a Prime member. And so they're doing a lot of really innovative things. And I think it's exciting because, look, if they didn't think they had something, they wouldn't be going whole hog into the marketing. I think they know they've got something. And more importantly, they're making the marketing of this movie sort of be as fun as hopefully it'll be to watch the movie itself. You know, they're not doing things that are necessarily, I haven't seen a drone show above a major American landmark that advertises Superman or advertises something else. I mean, that's pretty spectacular, and that's what you'd expect from a Superman movie. So more power to them. I mean, God bless Warner Brothers and God bless DC Studios and Peter Safran and James Gunn. I hope it all works out. I mean, I think all of us are very excited. It's fun, John. It's fun to be excited about a movie coming out again. I mean, I'm really excited to see this movie.
Listen, somebody sent me a link to a movie theater in Connecticut that is advertising, and they're selling seats for a Superman screening on the July 4th. Now, I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Wow.
But I'm going to give, after this show, I'm going to give that theater a call and say, was this a mistake? Or are you actually showing this? Because if there is, Rob, I may be taking a road trip to Connecticut to go see this on July 4th. Now, listen, I'm seeing a lot of people who still don't get it in the live chat. It's like, wait a minute, they spent like $250 million. That means this movie's going to need to make $650 million, $700 million to break even. And you're not wrong. This movie is going to take about $650 to $700 million to break even. But I've been telling people this for 2 years. They don't care. They don't care. Warner Brothers is totally, and I've been telling people this for almost 2 years now, Warner Brothers is completely comfortable if Superman loses a little bit. Let's put it this way, Rob. When Netflix lost money for over 12 years straight, when they went to streaming, for 12 years straight, they lost money before they started turning a profit. Disney Plus lost billions because they expected that. but they lost billions in the first couple of years that they were streaming. Peacock lost billions when it starts streaming. In starting this brand new cinematic universe that is unlike a lot of others, this is a cinematic universe that isn't starting at 0. It's starting at -500 because of all the baggage and garbage that comes along with the old failed DCEU. And the fact that this is the 18th Superman we've had in the last 20 minutes. And the fact that a lot of people didn't like the other stuff. This is a thing that's starting so low. And I've told people for 2 years, Warner Brothers' number one responsibility here, they're okay if they lose a little bit of money on Superman. That's not what you normally say about every other movie. But with Superman, they're okay with it if people love it, because they're not worried about the $100 million they may make on this movie. They're worried about the $50 billion they want to make on these movies over the next 15 to 20 years.
Sure.
And the only way they're going to make money on future movies is if people love Superman. So they're pulling out all the stops. They gave it a really big budget. I mean, not the biggest budget of all time or anything, but they gave it a big, healthy budget. They gave it a huge marketing budget because they know this film needs to succeed with the audience. They know the audience needs to love it. They know they need to change the narrative. So, yeah, it's ridiculous to make a movie and market a movie that's going to cost you $675 million just to break even. But Warner Brothers is, and I've told people this for years, and nobody wants to listen. That's why Warner Brothers has always been comfortable with the idea that the first movie may lose money. Because whatever money they lose, they're going to make up for that over the next 5 films. Anyway, what do you think?
Well, no, I totally agree with you. One of the things that people have to remember, though, is this comes out of a specific, there's a marketing department at Warner Brothers, and that marketing department over the course of a fiscal year might be in charge of marketing 10 movies, 15 movies.
Right.
And it's all an expense. So however it plays out in the long run, it's not easy. People don't understand there's studio overhead that is worked into the budgets of films. It's an ongoing process. It's not like, here's the coffers for a movie. Like, a movie has its production budget, but the marketing budget of a movie isn't necessarily tied to how much it costs to make that movie. But you're talking about overall operational expenses for the studio for the year. So if they choose to put in $250 million to market Superman, there's a reason. Like you said, they're playing the long game. And, a lot of it has to do with how much they feel they can spend on marketing. But there's a lot that marketing entails. And we're so used to thinking in terms of simple, easy numbers. It's a lot more complex than that.
Yeah, and it always has been. And look, don't get me wrong. Warner Brothers would love to make money on this film.
Of course.
Don't get me. Of course they would love to make. They would love this movie to make $800 million at the box office, $900 million. Oh hell, maybe even $1 billion. They would love that. Of course they want that. I'm just saying, I think Warner Brothers, DC, James Gunn, David Zaslav made peace with the idea years ago that with what they need to do with this Superman movie, they're okay if it loses money, if it accomplishes its goals. If it accomplishes its goals and it sets up a bright future for a DC cinematic universe where they can make billions and billions of dollars over the next 10 years, then they're totally at peace with it. Do they want to make money? Absolutely. Would they prefer it make money? Absolutely. But they're comfortable that it may not, and I think that's okay.
I mean, it's interesting. If you go back and look at Marvel, look at the 3 Captain America movies. Look at how much Captain America 1 made. I think people would be surprised at how little it actually grossed worldwide. But then look at how much Winter Soldier made, and then look at how much Civil War made, and then the Avengers movies and everything that came after it as part of a carefully constructed franchise. And like what you were saying, that's what they're doing here, which is what the DC universe didn't do before. They wanted their cake and eat it too with something like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and going right into Justice League. This is more carefully constructed. And like you said, they're willing to put up money up front because they need to make a splash.
And I think they're clearly going to make a splash again, breaking the record's highest first day ticket sales, outpacing Fantastic Four, which had a lot more screens for it to sell tickets for too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, Superman seems to be pulling out all the stops. I'm seeing they're spending a lot of money on television ads. I'm seeing a lot of billboards. I'm seeing a lot of other types of more viral kind of or guerrilla marketing tactics for it. They're really putting the foot to the floor. Now, will the movie be any good? Well, that's going to be the most important thing, so we'll have to see. Whatever you guys think about all this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.